Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome to what should hopefully be the end of our All the Mods 10 Let's Play. Behind me, there's already one antimatter pellet in there, and we have enough polonium to turn this on and craft up our second antimatter pellet we need for our last star piece so that we can craft the star. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, if you guys aren't watching the streams on Saturday, you should come hang out with us. I have no clue what we're going to be doing. I don't even know what the next series I'm going to do yet is. But we streamed for like 4 hours on Saturday. We got our wasted bees going. We made our first antimatter pellet, which we then put into the hive so that we can get nuclear waste from the bees. So if we come over here and we look, we've got a hive full of wasted bees. I don't think I made a video on this, but there's the antimatter pellet. This produces wasted comb, which we can process and turn into, you guessed it, nuclear waste, which then we can turn into polonium and various other things. And we did, I think, all of that on stream on Saturday. It was just kind of poking around. We looked at some patch notes and things that changed and updates and stuff with All the Mods 10, how the pack has changed since we started the series. Like, you got refined storage now, which I would have gone refined early on rather than AE2, simply because I like refined better. But let's go ahead and turn this on. As you can see, we've got 1.2 million buckets of polonium there. That should be more than enough for another antimatter pellet. So we're going to let this run down, and we can watch our antimatter come in here. When we get our second pellet, we're going to see if there's anything between us and the star. And then we'll kind of talk about, you know, if you're playing in your world and you're not quite done, you're still having fun, there's still plenty to do in the pack once you get your star done. You can keep working towards essentially creative everything, and you know, it's like playing in a creative world, but without, you know, being in a creative world. So here we go. 2 antimatter pellets. Awesome. We are going to, yep, it has run through all of that. Let's go ahead and take this back off our network so it doesn't keep sucking the power down. Look at it, using 58 million FE a tick. It will use whatever you let it use, like indefinitely. And then we were talking about those wasted bees, so we set up our processing for our combs right here. You dump the comb blocks into a chemical oxidizer, and as they come in, it spits out waste, which we've got tied into our nuclear waste, which is going into the bus, the chemical P2P bus down there, and then we're sending it up to make polonium. So there we have it. We'll let this stockpile up more polonium in the world, just, you know, in case we decide to play in here on streams or whatever else. For those of you playing on the server, I won't be shutting the server down anytime soon. There's a bunch of folks still playing on here that are not to their stars yet, so I don't want to take any of that away from them, but we will likely be spinning up something new. But I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out yet. So here we are, the giant star wall, and we're missing this. So now we have our 2 antimatter pellets for our last 2 pieces in this one. Let's go ahead and grab out everything. What were we making? The improbability device. So here we go. Probability device. And there we have it. With that, toss it into the wall here, so that we can step back and look at all we've done. It's taken us since right before Christmas was when I first started on the server and started recording. So, you know, almost 5 months of trying to make this content for you guys. And now we're to it. Does this mean you win? It does. So let's take a look at this pattern. It looks like it's all going to go into the runic star altar. So I think what we ought to do is let's see if we can just make a pattern for it and feed that into our pattern provider. and we'll see if we've missed something. Encode pattern. Oh, interesting. Okay, good. It can get everything. Nice. So we're going to put that there. And then if we find our, what was it called? It's like a ludicrous item input or something. Ludicrous item input bus. That's the one. So if we put our star pattern in there and we take down everything on the wall. So let me clear out my inventory here and let's get everything off the wall and into our inventory. I just put my axe up. Oh no, I don't even think I've renamed it yet. It's supposed to be named Red Rum, but we've not done that. All right, let's grab it all down. I wonder if I could vein mine the item frames. No. I gotta be honest with you. I was worried about whether we'd make it to this point in this series, y'all, because that modern industrialization, we would have gotten through it. It would have taken a lot of episodes or a lot of streams. I mean, in 4 hours, I don't think we even got halfway to the first one of the pieces. And like I mentioned in that episode, from what I understand, I haven't watched it because I don't watch other content creator stuff on the things that I'm doing. It took Chosen Architect 5 episodes to get through modern industrialization. So it is an absolute ton. But let's go ahead and head down to our altar, even though there's really not going to be anything to see other than we might be able to see the items come in on the item input right here. And let's tell it to make our star. Is it done? Did it do it? No. What's it hung up on? Says it's crafting it. No matching recipes found. Well, it only fed the 28 unobtainium blocks, and I can't interact with it. Are we lagging that bad? Doesn't appear so. Let's do a refresh here. Oh, did I crash the server? We may have crashed the server. I mean, it's still updating my location. I can still see all that. Take things out, put things back in. Okay. Chat's, it did not like something. Okay, let's put it back. And now we can interact with it. And now everything else is in there. And it's processing. Are we going to get our all the mod star? Oh, no recipes found. ATM. There it is. That's it. I mean, it's not it, like we were talking about, but give me a minute to, just sort of sit here and sit with the glow of having beaten the pack, and then we'll talk about what you guys can do next and what we may do next. Oh boy. So there we have it. Does it mean you win? Yes. We've created the ATM star. It means you beat the mod pack. But what's next, it says? Well, it gives us a bunch of resources, which we've basically got already, but we can take this ATM star and we can turn it into a creative item of some kind of our choice for moving forward in the world. One of those creative items that I always like to do first is the creative energy cube. Then we have unlimited power for whatever we want, and we never have anything. But I was clicking through, looking at these, seeing what we might make, and it says creative source jar, get this first. Currently a pretty simple recipe, only needing 4 source jars, 4 source gems, blocks, and a star, but don't worry, it's going to get changed to make it harder later. Yeah, they changed it, and you need 4 unobtainium source jars, which we already have automated, I do believe, and we can just make. The source, the reason they tell you to go with source is a lot of the automated parts here, if you're going to go down this creative star automation pathway, which I don't intend to, A lot of these altars require source, so having that unlimited source to be able to draw from super fast is probably really good for that. I think I'm going to make probably the creative energy cube, which is made in the energizing orb with 4 creative energy cubes. So let's see. We have one, I'm pretty sure. So we have one of them. We need 3 more of those. So let's take a look at that recipe. We'll make a pattern for it. And then we will toss that in here. Tell it to make us 3 more. Hopefully we've got everything. We do. And then now we should be able to go to the uses on our star, and we should be able to tell it that we want to turn it into the creative energy cube, this one. So if we tell it to do that, and then we put that in our energizing orb, big items, there we go, extended pattern provider. What are those? Ender cores, dry ice. Yeah, that's the one. So we're going to put it in there, and then we're going to toss our star back in our inventory, and we should be able to tell it let's get out of F5, and then we want creative, and we want the one that's full, this one. So let's make a pattern for it. Oh, we already did. Let's tell it to make us one. Now, can we get up there and watch it go through the orb? No, it's not going to go into the orb because we don't have... We have to set up the thing. Let's just put them in by hand, okay? So if we go there, 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 and there... Oh, I added this. It is wirelessly charging all of the rods. As you can see, it's only outputting like 18 KFE a tick for some reason, but it should be charging all of these rods pretty much constantly for us. How are we doing? 86, 88, almost there. There we have it. Now, we're not going to get a quest completion because that's actually gated behind here, and we've got to unlock a bunch of these prerequisites to unlock it to get, you know, these rewards for having made it. But, you know, I don't necessarily need the rewards. But what we can do now is we have our battery over here, right? Wherever it was put, it's over here. We were like right by it and I ran away. So rather than having this flux point feeding the power from our power gen in it on its own, we can get out some universal pipes, universal cable, this stuff, and we can like make ourselves a little grid, I guess, here. Sure, there's 6. If we put this down and we tell it that on the top it can be an output, now our battery is going to be full. That cable is going to be full. We can also put this little flux point on here to feed anything into our battery from our power generation networks from all of these. But we have unlimited power. We can run whatever we want to run, and it will not run out of power. As you can see here, it'll just use as much as it wants, and it'll pull it straight through this battery. No issues whatsoever. We could go turn on our... we can go turn on our SPS, and let's just, for funsies, let's see how much power the SPS will pull when it's got as much power as it wants. So if we were to stick this on our network, how much is it pulling? 58 MFE a tick. And then you'll notice that this isn't going to kill our network or anything either. We've still got a buffer, we've still got whatever, and it's just pulling 58 MFE a tick straight through our battery into our, network. This battery will still be full. Yep. And our whole network is using a total of, what did it say right here? It looks like 19.8 MFE a tick, and it's outputting 58.99 MFE a tick. So it's pulling it in. It is going to drain the battery down a little because we don't have enough throughput, but we should be able to make that higher, I believe, by making some more of these cables. And I think the way these cables work, if I understand it, is their throughput is more when you stack more of them. So if we add a couple more here, it should then, yeah, as you can see, now we're getting 39.48 MFE a tick in, and we can add more until we match our, stuff. So there we go. There we go. Now we're bringing more in than we are taking out, so the battery should fill up. And there you have it. We have beaten all the mods 10. I don't have a grand plan for what's next or the next series or anything of the sort, but I want to say thank you guys so much. We have hit huge milestones during this series. We smashed right through the 1K sub barrier, almost to 2,000, and I can't wait to see how the channel's going to grow as we move forward into a new pack. I will say that I have been looking at some form of skyblock pack, ocean block, something like that. I don't really know. Stone block. We'll see. There's a few different packs that have had some new updates that I haven't played that I might like to take a look at. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to leave you guys here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this adventure through all the mods 10. And we'll see y'all in the next series. Bye-bye.